Welcome to Spectrum News at 10, coming to you live from Oyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. My name is Ofonono Joseph. Let's take a look at the top stories. Federal government decries $10 billion annual food import bill, urges innovative agric finance. Governor Omoyana commends Nigerian army, pledges continued support for peace in Akwa Ibom. Plus, Trump rules out sending U.S. troops to Ukraine as part of security guarantees. Stay tuned for details of these stories and more in a moment. Good morning. We're glad to have you join us on the news this morning. First in the news this morning is that the federal government has lamented the $10 billion spent annually by the country on food imports, saying there is need for innovative financing solutions to boost agriculture and strengthen food security. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, met the core in Lagos. Represented by his special advisor, Ibrahim Al-Kali, Kyari decried the rising rate of food imports and stressed the need for increased financing in agriculture to boost local production and exports. She said Nigeria spends over $10 billion annually importing food such as wheat, rice, sugar, fish, and even tomato paste, adding that agriculture contributes 35% to the nation's gross domestic product, GDP, and employs 35% of Nigeria's workforce. In education, the Federal Ministry of Education has said it has automated the admission process into Unity colleges. This comes on the heels of the federal government's release of the list of admissions into its Unity colleges across the country. The ministry said the initiative marked a major milestone in promoting transparency, efficiency, and optimal capacity management in secondary school placements. A statement by the ministry's Director of Press and Public Relations, Folashade Boriowo, said the initiative, driven by the Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Alausa, ensures that all admissions are henceforth fully automated and strictly conducted within the approved capacity of each school and eliminates previous challenges of overstretched facilities. The statement said the current admission covers 80 conventional Federal Unity colleges, Junior Secondary School 1, while admission into the remaining 42 Federal Technical colleges under the Technical and Vocational Education and Training TVET program will be released in due course. Still in education, the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, has unveiled plans to educate and economically empower 1 million underserved Nigerian girls under the Learning, Uniting, Modernizing, Innovating, Nurturing, Accelerating, and Harmonizing Lumina 2030 initiative. UBEC's Executive Secretary Aisha Garaba announced this at the opening of a 5-day program on Lumina 2030 UBEC Migration and Establishment Agenda in Abuja. She said the Commission had formally taken over the initiative from the Federal Ministry of Education and that the government's action was a timely and necessary step to guarantee sustainability and long-term impact. The UBEC chief, who was represented by the Deputy Executive Secretary Technical Razak Akinyemi, stressed that embedding Lumina 2030 within UBEC ensures institutionalization, Nigeria's education priorities, and a lasting legacy. On electoral matters now, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has fixed Thursday, August 21 for the supplementary election in Kaura, Namoda South constituency of Zamfara State. The announcement was made by the State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Mahmouda Issa, during an ongoing stakeholders meeting in Gashu ahead of the exercise. Dr. Issa assured political parties and voters that the Commission has put adequate measures in place to ensure a smooth and hitch-free process. The supplementary election follows the earlier declaration of the Kaura Namoda South constituency by-election as inconclusive by the returning officer, Professor Lawa Saadu of the Federal University, Gasho. The returning officer explained that the margin between the leading party and the runner-up was less than the total number of permanent voter cards collected in polling units where elections were cancelled, thereby necessitating a supplementary poll. INEC therefore called on all stakeholders, security agencies and political parties to cooperate with the Commission to ensure the success of the August 21 election. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omoyeno has commended the Nigerian Army for their unwavering commitment to maintaining peace and security in the state. The governor, who spoke when he received the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, and his entourage on a courtesy visit, highlighted the state's recognition of the Army's crucial role in ensuring the safety and well-being of Akwa Ibom citizens. Governor Eno, who also acknowledged the existing relationship between the Army and Akwa Ibom State, expressed gratitude for the collaboration and assured the Army chief that the state government would visit the Ibawa barracks in Abak local government areas to explore ways to further support the Army.
For the work they do, but most particularly for the collaboration that exists between the Nigerian Army in Akwa Ibom under the leadership of the Commander 2 Brigade. We just want to thank you for the civil military relationship that has been built amongst our people. We have noted in a very short discussion your request for us to intervene in the Ibawa barracks, and I've assured you that when the Commissioner for Internal Security returns, he will pay a visit to the barracks, the Nigerian Army, so that we continue to have good accommodation for our people. We're already doing some intervention in the headquarters of the 2 Brigade in Biokporo, and we'll continue to do that. I've also made a reminder, and you have promised to graciously grant us an outpost. We need an intervention in our own area. We need that intervention because it's critical for us. That's a littoral area, and a lot of the kidnapping takes place and go through there. And we believe that having that will help reinforce our security arrangement.
Earlier, the Chief of Army Staff, who had expressed the Nigerian Army's commitment to protecting lives and property, noted that he was in the state on an operational visit, hence the need to lead a delegation to pay homage to the governor. Government House correspondent Jane Uwa reports that while acknowledging the state's peaceful atmosphere and the governor's unwavering support to the Army boss commended the governor for his contributions to maintaining peace and security in the state, describing Akwa Ibom as one of the most peaceful states in Nigeria. In the meantime, in a bid to combat the rising menace of illegal mining in the state, particularly along the state coastlines, Akwa Ibom State Governor Pastor Omeno has inaugurated a strategic and operational committee with a strong mandate to tackle the rise of illegal mining issue in the state. Speaking during the inauguration of the committee at the State Exco Chambers, Government House, Uyo, the governor stressed that the committee's tasks include profiling miners in the state, monitoring their activities, and ensuring compliance with the law. Governor Eno also directed the local government chairman to take charge of their areas and report any illegal mining activities to the state government as they work collaboratively to identify and prosecute offenders immediately. The state chief executive also directed the revocation of lands illegally bought without the government's knowledge in order to bring an end to the hazardous activities of illegal miners in the state and restore peace and security to the affected areas. Government House correspondent Jane Uwa reports that the committee members include the Commissioner, Ministry of Environment, Commissioner, Ministry of Finance, Commissioner, Ministry of Internal Security, Commissioner, Ministry of Justice, Attorney General, Commissioner, Ministry of Transport, the State Director, Security Service, State Commissioner of Police, Honorary Special Advisor to the Governor on Security, Chairman of ALGAN, and the Chairman of 15 local government areas representing the coastal areas in the state, amongst others. We move now to Africa, where former Malian civilian Prime Minister Choguel Maïga has been charged with embezzlement of public funds. His lawyer, Cheikh Konare, announced this yesterday. Maïga was remanded in custody following a hearing before the country's Supreme Court. Reports say no date has yet been set for his trial. Maïga served as Mali's civilian head of government from June 2021, but was dismissed in November 2024 after he publicly criticized the junta in power. On the foreign scene, President Donald Trump has ruled out sending U.S. troops to Ukraine as part of security guarantees if a peace deal is reached. The U.S. president also hinted that Russia's Vladimir Putin would face a rough situation if he does not cooperate in the peace process. Meanwhile, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has said that the U.S. will help in the coordination of security guarantees, noting that Trump has directed his national security team to work in collaboration with Europe. This comes after August 18th talks between Volodymyr Zelensky, Trump, and European leaders at the White House. Still on the foreign scene, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has accused his Australian counterpart of having betrayed Israel and abandoned Australia's Jewish community. After days of growing strain between the two countries, Netanyahu said that history would remember Anthony Albanese for being a weak politician. Recall that Australia barred a far-right member of Netanyahu's ruling coalition from entering the country on Monday, and Israel in turn revoked the visas of Australian representatives to the Palestinian Authority. Meanwhile, Australian Immigration Minister Tony Burke said Netanyahu was lashing out in response to Canberra recently announcing it would join the UK, France, and Canada in recognizing a Palestinian state. Still to come in the news. Super Eagles B exits CHAN with 2 new wins over Congo. Stay tuned for details of these in a jiffy. Glad to have you back. Now we conclude the rest of our news stories. On our business news, the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, and the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Dr. Olayemi Cardoso, have pledged to strengthen coordination between fiscal and monetary authorities to consolidate Nigeria's economic stability. The commitment followed a strategic meeting held yesterday at the CBN headquarters in Abuja and attended by the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Dr. Zach Adedeji. According to a statement issued by the Director of Information and Public Relations at the Ministry of Finance, Mohammed Manga, the high-level talks focused on sustaining macroeconomic stability, boosting investor confidence, and unlocking private sector growth. Edun reaffirmed that aligning fiscal and monetary policies was central to President Bola Tinubu's reform program. The statement added that the meeting was designed to send a strong signal of the government's determination to work towards a more stable and prosperous economic future for all Nigerians. We move over to health, where the federal government has disbursed nearly 50 billion naira directly to primary health centers, PHCs, across the country through the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pate, made the announcement in a post on his official X handle. Pate added that the administration of President Bola Tinubu has also released over 20 billion naira for the rehabilitation and upgrade of 4,362 primary health centers across the 19 northern states and the Federal Capital Territory. He also highlighted progress under the government's health insurance drive, revealing that enrollment is set to surpass the 2024 record of 2.4 million citizens later this year. According to the minister, more than 37 million visits to PHCs were recorded nationwide in the first quarter of 2025, reflecting what he described as a data-driven re-engineering of the country's healthcare delivery system. Still in health, the federal government has concluded plans to unveil the Renew Her initiative as part of efforts to prioritize women's health and strengthen their role in national development. The initiative is designed to close long-standing gaps in healthcare delivery for women while tackling economic inequities that limit their progress. Speaking on the initiative, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Women's Health, Dr. Adanna Steinecker, explained that the dual approach was aimed at reducing inequalities and ensuring women are better equipped to contribute to sustainable national growth. According to her, the program would not only expand access to maternal and reproductive health services, but also create opportunities for women to participate more actively. Now to sport, where the Super Eagles B ended their campaign at the African Nations Championship, CHAN, with a 2-0 victory over Congo. Despite the win, Nigeria failed to progress beyond the group stage, having already suffered defeats to Senegal and Sudan. The match saw Nigeria take control in the second half. Anas Yusuf opened the scoring in the 56th minute after a well-placed assist from Sikiru Alimi. Alimi later doubled the lead with a powerful header in stoppage time. Meanwhile, Congo entered the match needing a win, having drawn their previous 2 games against group leaders Sudan and second-placed Senegal. However, the defeat confirmed their elimination alongside Nigeria. Still in sports, Liverpool talisman Mohamed Salah has become the first Premier League player to win the Professional Footballer Association (PFA) Footballer of the Year. Salah now stands ahead of 2-time winners Gareth Bale, Thierry Henry, and Cristiano Ronaldo. Earlier in the year, he took home the Football Writers Association Footballer of the Year award. The Egyptian winger scored 29 goals and provided 19 assists as the Reds romped to the title. We move over to entertainment news, where the American music magazine Billboard has released its list of the top 50 best Afrobeat songs of all time. The list ranked Two Faces' controversial hit African Queen as the #1 best Afrobeat song of all time. However, Wizkid is the only artist with double entries in the top 10, with Ojo Elegba at #2 and Essence featuring Thames at #5. Lastly, in the news at this hour, Nigerian Afrobeat singer Iyanya is set to make his biggest comeback with a new album and a tour of the United States. The music star announced that his 5th studio album will be released on September 12, 2025, and that he would embark on a tour of the United States from October to November. The tour, themed Iyanya, the Forester Sun Tour, will kick off in Brooklyn, New York, with stops in Boston, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Detroit, Minneapolis, Denver, Houston, Dallas, Los Angeles, and North Carolina. The tour will be Iyanya's first American tour since 2019. And that's all we have for you at this time. Do ensure to follow us on all our social media handles and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 10. I remain Ofonono Joseph. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Good morning.